DJ HAPA here at Scratch DJ Academy, and we are on to making your mix. So if you've watched part one, which was prepping your mix, you now know how to find tempo and BPM and mix two things that are within the same range. You also know a bit about basic music theory, including beats, bars, and phrases. You've also figured out how to adjust the grid and set the grid, also setting cue points and understanding the structure of the song. And that's exactly where we're going to pick up here. We are going to mix two things together and find the best place to mix them together. So on the track on my left deck right here, we're going to be playing this one first and mixing the other one in under it. So I'm going to try and find a mix point, which is actually here. I'm looking for the high point of the record, remember? So in this song, you can feel it building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4. And then it goes into this other part of the record. So really the height of this song is 16 bars. That's where this sort of levels off. So I've got 16 bars to get the new record in. And remember, what I want to do is not just switch the song, but I want to sort of line it up so that I've got the other song playing under it. And when this song ends, the high part ends, we're now into the second song. So on my right deck, on this one, the intro of this is 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4. Now, there's instruments that come in here, so I want to try and keep it as bare as possible. So I'm going to really just focus on that first 8 bars, and that's what I'm going to use as my intro. So I'm going to line up these 8 bars with the last 8 bars of the high point of that other song. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. Now we know where. I'm going to set this cue point at the beginning of this, and we are off to the races. Cool. Step 2, I'm going to use sync. All right, so you now notice that this is at 125, this one's at 122. Technically, this one would be playing. So I want to sync my second song, the next song, to the one that's playing, not the other way around. If I do, it'll slow down the one that's playing, and I don't want to do that, especially if I've got a dance floor and people grooving out to what I'm doing. I want to sync the one that's coming in. All right, so this is, let's say, playing, and as it's playing, I'm going to hit sync. Now again, you've watched the video about setting grids, and that's exactly why this is really important. Sync is working purely off the grid, so if that grid isn't right, things won't line up right. So now I've got sync on, 125, 125, we should be good, tempo-wise, we're locked in. So now all I'm doing is I'm waiting to the right point to bring in this next song. And in fact, one thing I'm going to do first, I'm just going to set another mark here, another cue point, my third and final cue point I'm going to set right there. So let me do that. Okay, good. All right, and so essentially I am starting this song when it hits the blue mark. When this one hits the blue mark, it's 8 bars till the end. When this one is at the very beginning, it's 8 bars till the song really starts. That should be a perfect mix here. And given that the tempo is right, I've synced them, we should be good. So let's try this. Now let's try and mix this. Back it up a little bit. And this time all I'm going to use is the crossfader. So on the crossfader, from all the way on this side, all I'm hearing is this deck, the left deck. If I go over to this side, all I'm hearing is my right deck. Anywhere in the middle, and I'm hearing both. So let's try this mix here. I'm going to do this so I don't hear, so that the audience doesn't hear what I'm doing over here. Notice the beats are off and I hit sync to get it back on. You're hearing both songs at the same time. So now that, very nicely done. You started to see that it was starting to drift as they were mixing. So I hit sync again to lock them back into place. That was using the crossfader. Now you also can automate the crossfader by hitting this sort of button that will move automatically from one side to the next. I personally like to have a little bit more control and like to manually move it. But that's up to you if you want to use the auto fade side of it. Cool. I'm going to show you one last thing about making this mix, which is instead of using the crossfader, I'm going to leave it in the middle. And this time, I'm just going to use the volume fader. So I'm going to fade. I'm going to start with this one down. This one's going to be playing at full volume. And as they mix, as I hit that mix point and they're now playing together, I'm going to slowly fade this one up and fade that one out. So let's go back to where my mix is. Here we go. And here we come, and a little bit off when that came in, so I synced it up there. You're hearing them together, they're mixing together. Now I'm into the next record. Now we're into this one. Two different ways to mix using either the crossfader or the volume faders. Learning how to sync tracks together, and obviously making sure that you understand the structure of these tracks. That was making your mix.